Starting over in your 60s isn't just about money, it's about who you think you really are. As I think I hinted at in a previous video, there is definitely an identity shift that happens as we transition from full-time work into either part-time work, semi-retirement, or even I would imagine into full-time retirement. And I'm going to find out here one of these days. But that shift is not only about what we do, but in terms of how I feel, and maybe you too, about who we are. For me, it's been a process of letting go of my identity as a therapist and embracing my reality as a semi-retired person with free time on their hands, struggling with the concept of not being productive all the time. We'll definitely talk about that one day as well. And then also the shift into a different line of work or a accompanying line of work with photography. As people ask what I do, I more often refer to myself as a photographer rather than a therapist. And that has been a huge transition because even though I'm still doing both, I truly feel I am honoring a calling when I'm working in photography. It's been something I've done forever. I mean, it didn't just come out of the blue. When my dad was into photography, there are so many home movies in my house that I could tell you about. And so it's been ingrained in my life. When I was a teenager, I had a fully functioning darkroom in my parents' basement. And a buddy of mine and me, we advanced our skills from black and white, which is what everybody does in a school photography class or a little home studio or whatever. We got into developing color film and printing color prints. Not a whole different process, but definitely more stringent. But anyways, we developed those skills. So this is what I was doing as a teenager up through my early 20s. And then college and life takes over to become something that's forgotten. The idea of doing it for work or for compensation was never really on the table until recently. And so that has been a big part of the identity shift. So now, as I feel so much more aligned with myself as a photographer, I use that as my identity, my introduction when people ask, what do you do? And yes, there's an uncertainty to making a transition and incorporating photography into my professional life and my professional existence. And that is also part of the excitement. I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know how this is going to turn out. And yes, I've had clients. And yes, I've done some really wonderful shoots. And yes, I've delivered some fantastic photos to those clients that I've been incredibly proud of, that I've showed to family and friends with a sense of pride that I haven't had professionally in a very, very long time. Partly because in psychology, no matter how great your session is, you can't tell anybody about it. You're kind of stuck on your own. And so this allows me to share my joys in a way that I never really could before. But yeah, there's certainly that excitement that comes with the unknown. All I can do and anybody making a transition can do is try to be as diligent as possible to make it whatever our definition at that time is of success, and then it's all worth it. At least I believe that it's all worth it. And let me circle back to the beginning where I had said, transitioning later in life isn't just about the money, and it's really not, because as I've indicated, financially, I make less. You work less, you make less. So it's not just about how much or even how little one makes. It's about the quality of life that one can develop by changing, by transitioning, by incorporating more things into our life that we hadn't really thought of before. Like, for instance, for me, as I'm making this transition, I'm gaining time. I have time to do this. This is really fun. I get to play with my cameras. I get to share my experience with other people. This is fun. I'm enjoying it. It brings something to my life. Has my YouTube channel made any money? No. Will it ever? Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. Again, that's not the point. I have the time and the flexibility and the freedom to pursue something I've always wanted to do, and now I get to do it. What else am I getting to do? Well, as we've talked about in other videos, I'm getting to re-engage with the piano. Another hobby and passion that I had for the longest time, thanks to my parents. skills I had developed, knowledge I had learned that sat dormant for the longest time, but now I have the ability to engage with that as well. So as we start to piece this together, yeah, these transitions are about career, in a career that feels more aligned at this stage in my life, doing things that feel more aligned with what I want to do. YouTube, piano. I'm also at some point going to be reintroducing tennis. Huge passion of mine. I was a great player as a kid. Not that I won a lot or anything like that, but I fully enjoyed it and felt I had developed a pretty good skill set. Had one of the best coaches in San Diego help me and nurture me and foster my growth in tennis. And that's another thing I want to pursue. But ultimately, these transitions are what allow us the flexibility to pursue these other ventures that are so important for our happiness, for our contentment, for our mental health. 444. I could go on for the next 20 minutes telling you all the different impacts this is having on me, but at least in a nutshell, those are most of them. So lastly, yes, making these transitions is not just about the money. It's about so many other things. And I think in my next video, I'm going to talk about some of the reasons I'm even doing this. Like I said, I get a lot out of, making this channel. I'm going to share a little bit about the whys, because it wasn't something I really grew up saying, I want to be a YouTuber someday. I want to have a channel. Over the years, I felt that I could potentially use the forum as a way to share my life, share my experiences, maybe some knowledge or anything I picked up that might be helpful for somebody, maybe for you. And I'll get into more of those details next time.